How are you, Mom?
Still terrific every day of my life, dear. I had a doctor's appointment. It was like 1994, and we had just had the Northridge earthquake
Like that day.
that morning. And I had to keep this appointment because he's a very hard doctor to get into. He was down at USC. And so I did come down there, and he said, I'm surprised to see you because I'm from the area of Northridge. It was very hectic.
Yeah. I think the earthquake was like at 4:31, 6.7. And you said your appointment was at what time?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m. So,
Yeah. So just,
you went because you knew you wouldn't get another appointment
Yeah.
if you didn't go.
so he told me that I had, there weren't many medications FDA approved. So by this time there was 3 of them that were in the market, and it was called ABC. It was Avodex, Betaseron, and Copaxone. So he told me that I had won the lottery for the Betaseron. And so these were injections that you had to take every other night under the skin, on your tummy or your thighs.
And Dad gave you
And
those.
so Dad gave me these injections for 10 years,
10 years, every other day.
every day.
Yeah. Wow. So did it help?
I suppose it did. It was supposed to, I don't know if it would do miracles, but just kind of slow down the progression
You can't really reverse the effects, but you can
Yeah.
kind of stop them from happening.
and exacerbations. And I believe it did help at one point because I just was living each day as I could. Well, my biggest challenge with this MS is my legs. I couldn't lift my legs, and so I had foot drop, which means that when you lift your leg, your foot just drops. And that was causing my tripping. So my dear husband put silicone coating on the bottom of my shoes so they would slide and I could walk easier. And so my neurologist said that she wanted me to have a blood test from a hematologist, which is more of a complete thing, and I would have options of which way to go. So I made an appointment with the hematologist, and he took some tests, and he said that I had the greatest shoes because he had never seen anything like this, but it was just a miracle that I could walk and slide like that. So it was a new invention, and praise Dad.
Yep, Dad's good. So when you got the results back, though,
Then
what did he
said
say
I
to
had
that?
stage 0 leukemia.
Oh.
But because it's stage 0, there's nothing you can do about this now. We'll just keep a watch on it and come back in 3 months. So I'm not one to keep running back for the same results. So I waited 10 years and I went back to a different hematologist, and he said I have stage 0 leukemia. So I just thought, well, this is something I'm going to be live with for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And stage 0, I would think means you don't really actually have
Yeah.
it. And if in 10 years it didn't grow, you probably aren't going to have it, right?
Well, seeing I had been on Betaseron for quite a while, and I was getting kind of sick of the injections feeling like a pincushion. So my doctor said it was okay to wean off of it, seeing I'd been there a long time. And a little later, I got very sick. I thought I had food poisoning, and I had vomited for more than 30 times, and my husband couldn't handle me anymore, and so he just dialed 911, and I went to emergency. And I stayed in the hospital for a week with test after test.
I remember that.
And there was no real conclusion at the end, except I was ready to go home. And then the doctor said, well, maybe we should have gallbladder surgery. And Al
Yeah.
said, no way, I'm taking
Yeah.
her home.
Yeah, Dad was pretty fed up because here you guys were doing exercises every day and you couldn't do any of that, and you couldn't walk, and you couldn't really even move in your bed hardly. So
And I couldn't get released.
yeah, so I mean, you used to always say, if I don't use it, I'll lose it, and that's why you insisted on walking instead of using the chair for so long. But then, like you said, after a week of being in the hospital, there was no way you were going to get your strength back to be able to walk.
So now I'm going to be in a wheelchair.
Right.
And so in my house, I had a sunken living room.
Mm-hmm.
And so a sunken living room doesn't work with a wheelchair, so Al actually lifted the floor.
Yeah, so there were 3 steps that went down into the living room, and then 3 more steps that went up into our dining room.
Right.
And obviously, you can't have that with a wheelchair. So, yeah, I think Dad took 3 days, right? And
Yeah, it's
my
fast.
brother-in-law Brad helped him out, and they raised the floor, and you could just wheel everywhere you needed to go in the house. So that was good.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the less enjoyable parts of my journey.
We look forward to seeing you next time when we're going to talk about Mom's equipment and her environment and the things that make it easier for her to function on a daily basis. So we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Honey, you know I'm terrific every single day of my life.